Table manipulation functions completed. Functions are complete. Next one is filter functions. Very, very, very important topic. Listen. Okay. Come here, madam. See, very, very important category. Very, very important. Filter functions. Okay. These functions you cannot see anywhere in the transform data or index function. Here it is a different functions. It is. Let's listen carefully. Okay. Okay. Very, very important. Listen. Okay. Filter functions. Okay. So in this filter functions, okay. So first function is calculate. What is that? Calculate. What is very, 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 very important function? Calculate function. Calculate function means inside the calculate function, it will calculate only aggregation operations. Understand? It will calculate only aggregation operations, but based on the condition aggregation operation. Suppose, for example, there is a gender is there, male and female is there. Male related, how many total cells it is, or female related, how many total cells is. I want to calculate it. That means for male, what is the total cells? For female, what is the total cells? That means based on the existing column condition, if you want to perform aggregation operation, then we have to use calculate function. Understand clearly or not? Okay. Based on the condition. Condition means in SQL server where we can write a condition. In where class? In where class we are writing the condition. Okay. So the condition here we can write it in calculate function. Inside the calculate function, condition you need to write. If the condition is whichever condition is satisfied, that related what aggregation you are performing, those all it will be calculated. Aggregation function means like sum it will be calculated, average it will be calculated, or count, min, max, you know, right? Aggregation, whatever. Any aggregation function you need to perform. Understand clearly or not? Very, 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 very important function. Okay, calculate. Whenever the situation like if this is the value, then we need to do these are the aggregation. Then must and should you have to use calculate function only. Understand clearly or not? What is calculate function will do? Based on the condition, if you want to perform aggregation operations, then must and should you have to use calculate function. Understand or not? See here. Let's see with examples. All the filter functions we can apply it on measure. Understand? All the filter functions. All the filter functions we can apply it on measure only. Understand? See here. Suppose, for example, In calculate, there are two ways. In calculate, we can write in two ways. One is directly we can calculate aggregation operation, only aggregation operation, or else by writing a condition, you can write performing an aggregation operation. Both the cases. In calculate function, only aggregation operation. Okay. In another way, in calculate function, based on the condition, if you want to perform any aggregation operation, then we have to use calculate. Let's see one by one practically. Understand? Okay. Suppose, for example, let's see with example. I want to see here using aggregation function like calculate function. Sorry, using calculate function, how it is. I want to calculate the total sales or like anything, any aggregation. I want to perform only aggregation, not condition, only aggregation. Then also we have to use calculate function. Let's see how it will. See here, calculate of just first in calculate function, first you need to write what is the function you have to, first you need to write expression. Here expression means always you have to perform aggregation operation only. In any scenario, in calculate, first parameter is aggregation. See, here expression is nothing but aggregation. Any aggregation you can perform. There are different aggregations, right? Sum, min, max, average, count, count distinct. Is there or not? So any of the aggregation function only you need to write it here. Only aggregation function here. Only aggregation operation first you need to write it here. Suppose, for example, see here, I'm performing a sum here. On which column it is? It is sales column. Okay. Just close that one. What will happen? It will calculate the total of the sales and it will give the result. Not only sum, you can perform any aggregation. Vijay, can't we give multiple aggregations? No. Only one aggregation in one calculate function. Understand clearly or not? Understand or not? That means what it will be calculated in calculate function, whatever in the financial, whatever sales column is there, this sales column total it will calculate and it will give the result. Understand? Anything, not only calculating sum, you can calculate average also. It will calculate average and it will give the result like that. Okay, that means in calculate function, there are two ways we can write. Either you can write only aggregation operation you can perform, or else see here, when you are writing when you are writing the DAX function calculate, see first expression, comma. See here, what is that? Filter. Okay. Here itself you have to write the conditions. Understand or not? Okay. See, in calculate function, first in place of expression, any aggregation operation you need to perform, comma. And after that, see here, what is this one? Filter function. That means filter you have to apply. That means condition you need to apply it here. Understand clearly or not? That means in calculate function, first you need to write aggregation, after that condition. Is that clear or not? Condition must and should we have to write that one. Based on the condition, whichever it is satisfied, though related aggregation operation is performing here. Understand clearly or not? Huh? Is that clear or not? Okay. Or else if you write only aggregation operation, what will happen? It will calculate that aggregation operation and it will give the result. Understand clearly or not? Okay. Okay. Both the ways I will explain you. Don't worry about that one. Okay. This is about calculate function. This is one case. Another case is how to in the calculate function aggregation operation you need to perform, comma, and filter also you need to apply. How can we apply? In that filter, any filter function you can apply in calculate. Okay. In calculate function, okay, first you need to write expression. Expression means must and should you need to write only aggregation operation. After that, any filter function you can use there. Any filter function. Let's see one by one filter function. First one is all. Okay. What is this all will do? See here. Suppose, for example, my scenario is, see here, this is the one, right? So, see here. Suppose, for example, if I'm selecting Canada here in the visualization, if I'm selecting Canada, Canada related value it is showing here. Canada related total value it is showing. If I'm selecting Germany, Germany related. If I'm selecting Mexico, Mexico related value it is showing, right? Understand or not? Okay. If you want to calculate the total sales and based on the selection. See here, when you are selecting anything in the visualization, this is the default behavior. What is that? When you are filtering anything in the visualization, other visuals are also filtered. See here, when you are selecting Canada, Canada related total sales only it will shows here. When you are selecting Germany, Germany related total sales it is showing. Is it value is changing or not? Yes, it is. Some cases, what is that one is, I even whatever column you are filtering here, if you are trying to filter anything in this column, this value cannot be changed. That means without selecting anything in this particular visual, what value it is showing, after filtering also, I don't want to see that value. Okay. For example, in intermediate, what is the total marks? 1000, right? Out of 1000, I'm getting like 500, something like that. Okay. When I'm selecting student ID, okay. When I'm selecting the student ID, is the total value is changed? What is the total value? 1000 it is. Okay. And based on the student selection, always the total value is fixed. Only it is changed the marks. Understand or not? Based on that, based on the student, how many marks he is getting, that value only it will change. Total value cannot be changed, right? So whenever I'm selecting X employee, sorry, X student, okay, he's getting 900, but total value is 1000 only. How much percentage it is? Means 900 divided by 1000 into 100, right? Understand? This is how percentage will be calculated. So that means, see here, if I'm selecting Y student, then what will happen? Total value is fixed, but only the value, how many marks is getting, the total of that particular student, that only it is changing based on the user. Like, is that clear or not? So, same here also. What I need to do is, see, what is the default behavior of Power BI? In the visualization, if you are filtering any column values, automatically other visuals are also filtered. Is that clear or not? Okay. So, if I'm filtering any column value in the visualization, okay, automatically other visuals are also filtered. That means other visual also changed the value based on the selection. In this Germany, actually, if I'm not selecting anything, for all the countries, this is the total sales. Understand or not? If I'm selecting Germany means immediately for Germany related, what is the total sales? Here also it is changing. True. If I'm not selecting anything, what will happen? False, and this value is also showing. That means this is the default behavior of Power BI. If you are filtering anything in the visualization, automatically other visual also filtered. Understand clearly or not? But my requirement is, suppose if I'm filtering any column value in the country, one of the value I don't want to change it. That means before selecting what value it is there, after filtering also same value need to be shown. That means the 1000 total value is there, right? Total marks total is 1000. Is the total value, total marks is changing for if the student is changing? No, it is fixed. Okay, like I want to fix one of the value. That means if you are not filtering anything, what value it is showing? After filtering also the same value need to show here. Okay, then how we can do this one? How we can achieve this one? That means you have to use a function called all. What is that? All. 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 Using this all function, okay, always, like, what will happen in all function is, before selecting what value is there, after selecting the value also the same value it will show. That means what all function will do, it will clear the filters. Even if you are selecting anything here, that means if it will clear the filters. That means clear the filters means, like, without selecting anything, what value will shows. After filtering also the same value it will shows. That means even if you try to filter it, it will clear the filter. If I try to clear the filter, that means clearing the filter means not selecting anything. If I'm not selecting anything, what value it is showing? Even if you select that one, this 11 billion only it will show. Okay, that means if I want to fix the value, even if I try to filter the values in the visualization, if I don't want to change the value, okay, then we have to use a function called all. Very, very, very important function. What is that? All function. What all function will do? Means it just clear the filter. Okay. What it will clear it? Whichever columns values you are filtering in the visualization, that filters will be cleared. If the filters are cleared, what will happen? The total value is showing, right? That total value, it will shows even if you are filtering the values in the, even if you are filtering the column values in the visualization also, the same value it will. That means before selecting what value is there, after selecting also same value. Understand clearly or not? Is that clear or not? Any doubts in this one? Huh? Let's see with example. Let's see. What is that one? See here. In this, you understand what is calculate function? Calculate means, see, very, very important. When to use calculate function? Huh? Perform aggregation based on the condition. Very important point. There are two cases are there. Only aggregation or else based on the condition, you can perform an aggregation. So at that point of time, you have to use calculate function. Suppose for male, gender column male is there. For male, what is, there are so many cells are there for male. I want to see the total sales, or else I want to see the average sales. I want to see the minimum sales. For male, what is the minimum sales it is? Maximum sales it is. For female, I want to calculate this one. Like this, that means based on the existing column value, I want to perform an aggregation. Then you have to use calculate function. In calculate function, two cases. One is only aggregation also you can perform, or else based on the condition also you can perform the aggregation. One by one we can discuss. Okay. And so after calculate, so Vijay, you are explaining in calculate function only how to write like aggregation. But what about the conditional based aggregation in calculate function? I will tell you. There is a separate function is there in this one. Filter function is there. With that filter function, whenever it will comes, I will explain you clear. Okay. See here. This all function. What is all function will do? If you want to clear the column column values in the visualization, if you want to clear the filters or column values in the visualization, then must and should you have to use all function. Actually, what is the default behavior of Power BI? In what is the default behavior of Power BI? If you are selecting any column values in the visualization, automatically other visuals are also changed. But if you don't want to change the value, even if you filter it also, if you don't want to change the value, then you have to use a function called all. If you don't want to change the value, that means before selecting what value is there, the same value after filtering also the same value there. Then we have to use a function called all. All is nothing but it will clear the column values filter in the visualization. Understand? Okay. Let's see with example. See here. New measure only we can apply. See all the filter functions in which function we can apply? Huh? New measure only. In which function we can apply? All the filter function we can apply it on calculate function only. In new measure, inside the calculate function only, always you have to use filter functions. Understand or not? See here. What is that? First, what you need to perform? Agree. That is fixed. Aggregation operation only. Any aggregation operation. Not only some average, min, max, or anything. But I want to perform sum of, on which column it is? Sales column. Okay. Always aggregation operation in calculate function. Always you have to write first aggregation function. Okay. Inside the aggregation function, what column you want to pass, that in which column you want to perform aggregation, that column you need to pass it. Understand? That means if it is sum, means what type of columns you need to pass? Numeric or decimals. Okay. If it is a date related, what type of aggregation functions are used? Min, max, count also. Understand? Count also. Count aggregation function is you. See, if you want to use any like for date related one, what aggregation operations you need to perform? Count, min, max. Okay. Understand clearly or not? If it is character, only count. Only count. Understand? Like that. So I want to calculate the sales column. Is the sales column is in what data type it is? Decimal related. For decimal related, can we perform sum or not? Yes. Right? Put comma here. Understand or not? Okay. In calculate function, first you need to write aggregation. This you know. Put comma. And after that, here you can write all the filter functions. See, all the filter functions are used in calculate only. Very, very important point. In calculate function, first you need to write an aggregation operation, comma, and you have to write any filter function. What is the first filter function? All. What is all function will do? It will clear the filters. Okay, it will clear the filters. Okay, if it is clear the filters, that means before selecting what value it will see, after selecting also same value you can see that one. So see here, in all function, see here, this is a filter function, right? So after performing aggregation function, you have to write any filter functions. Any filter function you can write it here. Here, when inside the all, either you can write a table name or column names also you can write it here. First, we need to discuss about the column. After that, we need to discuss about the table. Okay. See here. See, that means column. What column you need to write it here? Whichever column you are filtering in the visualization, that column you need to write here. See here. That means in this visual, which column value you are filtering here? What is that? Huh? Country, right? Country column you are filtering. So that column you need to, that means with what column you are trying to filter, you don't want to change the value, that column you need to write it here. Very important point. See here, what column you are filtering in the visualization? Country column. That's the reason I am writing. See here, not only one column, you can write multiple columns. I will show you how it will perform. See here, execute this one. That's it. In calculate, first aggregation operation, comma, filter function. If you have any filter function, you can apply that one. In that all function. What all function will do? It will clear the column values in the visualization. It will clear the filters of the column values. Okay, see here. Now, what will happen? What is the meaning of this one? What is the meaning of this one? That means if you try to filter this column value in the visual, what is that? If you try to filter this column value in the visualization, okay, it will clear the filters and it will shows the total value. Understand or not? If you clear the filters, if the column, if this country column values are clear the filters, what is the total sales? It is 11 million, right? This 11 million only it will show always. Understand what is the meaning here? So if you try to filter this column value, it will clear the filters. After clearing the filters, what aggregation operation you are performing, that it will be calculated. Understand clearly or not? See here. Okay. See, this is all related calculation without all related. How it will be? How it will calculate? See, if I'm trying to filter any column value, is this value is changed or not? Is this value is changed? Let's see. See here. If I'm selecting France, see France related value it is showing here. But here, is that a France related? No. That means before filtering this column, what value it is there? After filtering also, the same value it will show here. Understand clearly or not? Suppose if I'm selecting Mexico, see here, Mexico related, here it is changed. Because I'm not applying all function, that's the reason. Understand clearly or not? That means inside this all function, whatever column you are mentioned, if that column values you are trying to filter in the visualization, it will clear the filters. That means without selecting anything, what value is there? That value only it will show. That means first it will clear the column values, this country column values, and what aggregation it is there, that directly it will calculate that. That means that always the total of sales only it will shows every time. Even if you try to filter this column value also, every time it is showing the total value only, because every time it will clear the filters of that particular column. Understand? Suppose, for example, suppose, for example, in this one, now tell me, okay. So if I'm filtering this country column values, is this value changed or not? Huh? Changed. Is this value changed or not? No. If I try to filter the product values, is this value changed or not? Yes, because that is the default behavior. Is this value changed or not? Yes, very good. See here, suppose. Why? Because this column is not mentioned in all. That's the reason value is changed. Only this is the column it is mentioned in that particular column. So that means my requirement is, if I try to filter country value or else product value, I don't want to change. Then what you have to do, in all function, you can pass those columns. See, whichever column values you were trying to filter it and don't want to change the value, those columns you have to mention here. If I mention country means in this particular table, only country column, if you try to filter, it will clear. But remaining values are filtered. Remaining column values are filtered. Suppose, for example, I'm mentioning like product here. Now see, I'm mentioning country, comma, product. Now two columns I'm passing. That means if I try to filter Canada, is this value changed? Yes. Is this value changed? No. Okay. If I try to filter product, is this value changed? Is this value changed? No, because I mentioned the product also. Try it. Let's see with example. See here, it is not changed. Okay. Suppose, for example, see, is that value changed? Not only this one. Suppose if you select France and Germany is Katira, even though the value is not changed here. Understand clearly or not? Is that clear? Okay. That means if I try to filter another column, then is this value changed or not? Yes. Whenever you mention that column at that point of time, only value is not changed. Okay. This is how in that particular table, whichever columns you want, all the columns you can write with the comma separated. Understand clearly? Suppose, for example, Vijay, can we write the table name? Yes. See here. See here. I'm writing the table. What is the meaning of when you write the table name? All column? Ah, in this particular whenever you are, this is the table name. Whenever you are mentioning a table name, what will happen in the table? If you try to filter any column in that particular table, the value cannot be changed. That means it will clear the filters. Understand or not? See here, I'm mentioning the table name. See here. Suppose, for example, not only this one, you can take any column in this particular data set. Not only this one, any column. See here. Um, there is a segment column is there. Any column. Okay. You can take that any column in the visualization and try to filter those things. Now, if I'm selecting the any value here, is this value changed? See here. If I try to filter, is this value changed? Is this because all these three columns are used in are, are using from this particular table only. Okay, in this particular table, if you try to filter any column value, value cannot be changed. That means it will clear the filters. So that is the meaning of when you are mentioning the table name here. When you mention the table name, what will happen in the table? Okay, what are all the columns are there? For all the columns, okay, it will clear the filters. Understand clearly or not? Any doubts in this one? No. At a time, can we take the breakfast and lunch? No, right? You cannot perform. Then what value it will return? Tell me. Suppose if I'm writing multiple tables there, then how it will be calculated? Because why I'm not writing it multiple table names here? See, first one is in the syntax, it is asking only one table name, not multiple tables. It is asking multiple columns, but it is not asking multiple table. That is the first point. Second point is in which table you are performing an aggregation, that table only you need to mention here. Understand clearly? Is that clear or not? Is that clear? All function very, very important. Suppose in some scenarios, like if you don't want to change any value, okay, even try to filter also, I don't want to change the value. Then we have to use a function called all. Okay. This all function where we can write inside the calculate only, we need to write that function. Understand clearly or not? Okay. Where you need to write this all function inside calculate function only. Only. Next function. Next one is all cross filter. See, all these five functions are very, very important. Okay. Listen. All are similar like all function only. I will tell you. In the name itself, when you read that name, you will understand what is that function. Okay. Next one is all cross filter. All cross filter also similar like all function only. But syntax wise, the difference will be there. I will tell you. Whatever all behavior it is there, same behavior for all cross filter also. Let's see with example. This all cross filter also we can use it in inside the calculate function. Okay. See here. Same. Not only this aggregation, any aggregation you can write it. Okay. Again, put comma. First you need to aggregation that is fixed. Put comma and after that another filter function. What is that one? All cross filter. I will tell you. See, you only tell what is the difference between all and all cross filter. Okay. But behavior is same. all and all cross filter. What is that you need to write here? Table name. What is the meaning of this one? Clear the filters. Okay. In this table, what are all the columns are there? If any of the column, if you try to filter in the visualization, it will clear the filter. After clearing the filters, what it will do? What it will do? After clearing the filters in the table, what it will do? Some operation on which column? Sales column. Here, it will clear the filters of this particular table columns. And here, it will perform an aggregation. Understand or not? See here. Now, what will happen? In this particular table, any column value, if you try to filter in the visualization, value cannot be changed. Right? See here. See here. If you try to filter anything, like in this particular table, what columns? These are the columns are there. I'm trying to filter. See here. Is this value is changed? If I try to filter this column, is this value is changed? No, because this column is also there in this table only. Understand or not? If you try to filter any column in that particular table, the value cannot be changed because it will clear the filter. And after clearing the filter, the total sales will be calculated. And that value only it will show here. Now tell me, what is the difference between all and all cross filter? Because the both are same here. What is the difference between those two? Very good. In all, you can mention column names also or table name also. But in all cross filter, only we can mention table name. We cannot mention the column name. That is the difference. Very, very, very important. What is the difference between all and all cross filter? In all, either table name or column names you can mention. Okay. In all cross filter, what you can mention? Only table name. See here. If I try to call the column name, see here, country, it is not appearing here. If I try to call the column name, it is now, it will take only table name. Understand clearly or not? Actually, both are same. When you are mentioning in all, if you mention table name, okay. In all cross filter, if you mention table name, both are same. It is same results are getting or not. Whenever you are mentioning in all, if you mention the column names, in all cross filter, if you mention the table name, then there is a difference will be there, right? Whichever columns you mention, for those columns only filters will be clear. But remaining columns, if you try to filter it, value is changed or not. But in all cross filter, it is not like that. Always we are mentioning the table name. That means it will clear all the filters of that particular. Understand clearly or not? Any doubts in this one? Next, listen. Is that part is completed? Next, very important. Listen. Next function is all except. Okay. What is the meaning of this one? In the name itself, if you try to understand the name completely, then you will understand what all except will do. What is all except will do? What is all will do? Whatever columns we mention, okay, whatever columns we mention, those columns filters will be cleared. Okay, all except mean whatever columns we mention, for those columns, what will happen? It will filtered. It will filtered. Whatever columns we mention, for those columns filtered. But remaining columns in that particular table, filters will be cleared. Understand or not? Let's see with example. Okay. Okay. In all except what is the meaning of this one? Whichever columns you mention, for those columns, it will filter will happens. Remaining columns in the table, filter won't happens. Understand or not? For remaining columns in that particular table, filters will be cleared. Okay. Whatever columns you mention in all except, for those columns, filter will happens. Let's see with example. You understand, right, what I'm saying? What is that function? See, all except also where you can use. In calculate only we can use this one. Okay. First, what you need to write? Aggregation. That is fixed. Okay. See here. Suppose, for example, I'm performing average. Can we perform average or not? Yes. On which column it is? Sales column. Sales column or any column you can perform. So here. Next, after that, what function? Huh? All except. Very good. First, what is the syntax it is? First, what you need to write? Table name. What is the table name here? Because in that particular table columns only, I want to see the results. So I'm mentioning these two columns in that particular table. Whatever table you mention, those table columns only you need to write it here. Okay, I mentioned these two columns. See here. Now, what will happen? Whatever columns you mention, for these two columns, if you try to filter these two columns, what will happen? Is that value changed or not? Changed. Very important, right? Okay, changed. Remaining columns in the table, if I try to filter, is that value is changed? No, that is the behavior here. Let's see with example, practical example. Okay. Very much time it. See here. What is that? Alex. See here. I will show you an example. What columns I mentioned here? What columns are mentioned here? Okay. I'm calculating average here, not sum of sales, right? That is the reason the difference will be. See here. What is the meaning of this one? That means if I try to filter country as well as product, then what will happen? Value is changed. Or what value it is calculated here? Average sales it is calculated. That means for these two columns, whichever values you are selected, those related average sales it will be calculated. Understand? Suppose I am selecting Germany. Germany related average sales it is. See here, it is showing. Is the value changed or not? Suppose if you select a product, this is a product column. If you select the product column, then what will happen? Is this value changed or not? See here. Okay. Now, other than those two columns, remaining column, suppose there is a segment column is there. Okay. What is that? Segment column is there. In this segment column, if I try to filter, is this value changed? See here. Is this value change? No. Not only this one, other than country as well as product in the financial table, if you try to filter it, value cannot be changed. See, not only this one. See here. Even if you try to filter here also, is value changed or not? Not changed. See here. Only when for which column the value is changed? For country as well as product. Because those is that clear all except very, very, very important function. Most of the times in real time, we are using all except. What is all except will do? Whichever columns we are mentioned for those column, it will apply the filters. That means for those related column values, whichever values you are selected, those values related average sales will be calculated and it will show the result. Understand? Remaining columns in the table, if you try to filter, is that values changed? No. Okay. Very important, all except. Understand? Please don't forget this one. Okay. Next function. What is the next function? all no blank row. What is the difference between all and all no blank row? In all, if you mention the column name, null values and not null values are also it is applied. It will clear the filters, right? All. Here, it will clear the filters only for not blank values. For blank values, it is filtered. Understand or not? See here, in this all function, you are mentioning the column name. In that column name, sometimes the values, non-blank values are there. Blank values are also there. Anything is considered here. But when you come here, without blank values, whatever non-blank values are there, for those column values, all function is applied. That is the meaning of this one. Is that clear or not? Okay. Next one is all selected. What is all selected will do? So in this all selected, you can mention the column names or table name or anything. Okay. Whichever columns you are mentioning, for those columns are also it is values are filtered. Okay. Remaining columns in the table also it will be filtered. See, quite opposite to the all except. In all except what will happen? In all except what will happen? Whichever columns you mention, for those columns it will be filtered. Remaining columns in the columns it will be clear the filters, right? But here both with mentioning what columns you are mentioning, for those columns it will filter, and without mentioning the columns also, for those columns of that particular table also it will be filtered. Understand clearly? Let's see practically. Suppose first you need to calculate the aggregation operation, right? Any aggregation, comma, all select. See, don't confuse. Please practice. Very, very important. They will ask you the difference between all except. What is the difference between these two? All and all selected. Like that difference. Very, very important. Okay. If you didn't practice it, these functions, definitely you are confusing. Okay. See here, first either table name or column names also you can mention. Suppose I am mentioning country column, product column. Not only these two columns, you can mention n number of columns. Okay. See here, close the bracket. See, properly you have to close the brackets. Otherwise, it will throw us an error. Please follow the syntax. Now see the result. What is that one? See here. This is the total value, right? If suppose what columns I mentioned in this one, country and product. For these two columns, if we try to filter, is this value is changed or not changed? Change. Here, changed here. I told you, right? In all selected, what columns we mentioned, for those columns also, it is filtered. Okay. For remaining columns in the table also, it is filtered. And that means value is changed. Understand? See here. Suppose. See? So you are not mentioning like a segment column or year column, right? If you try to filter also, these values are changed. Understand this clearly or not? Any doubts in this one? Ah, what is the first question, right? Okay. What is, see, the difference is all selected, all except is there, right? In all except, what it will do? Whichever columns you mention, for those columns only, it will be filtered. That means value is changed. Remaining columns in that particular table, values are changed or not changed? Not changed, right? Here, the same. In both the direction, it is filtered. Is that clear or not? In all cross filter, what will happen, madam? Tell me. You are mentioning a table name. In the table, whatever columns are there, for all the columns, what will happen? Not changed. Right, don't confuse here. Okay, practice it. Okay. I will give time. Tomorrow also I am here only. Okay. Then don't confuse there and see. uh, Totally these five functions are confusing here. Just practice it. Then you will ask the question. I can answer it. Understand? All cross filter is not like that. Okay. All cross filter, if you mention the table name, it will clear the filters. All column filters it will clear. That means value cannot be changed. In all function, if you write the table name in all function, all cross filter and all function both are same. If you mention like in all function, if you mention like column names, okay, then all and all cross filter both are different, right? Because there itself column names you mentioned. Here it is table name. That's the reason there is a difference. But if you write the table name in both are same. It is. That's the reason. Please maintain a running notes. This is my humble request for everyone while I'm saying. See, not only this one, any topic I will explain you 3 times. First, normal, what is that function? After that, practically, I will show you. After completing that, again, what that function will tell you. Again, I will tell you. So in any of this one, first time you listen. Second time, practically you need to see. Third time, you need to write it in in your book. You never miss any point in that one. Understand or not? Is that clear or not? Don't confuse here. Very important functions, very important in real time as well as in entry point of time also. These functions are important. These 5 functions. Okay. So, and one more important point is this Saturday workshop is there. It is completely free. Just to join. 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour or 1.5 hour workshop session will be there on Power BI completely. Within 2 weeks, we are giving complete description of Power BI. Just to join. We are not forcing anyone. It is complete. The workshop is completely free. On Saturday, it will be there. Every Saturday, workshops will be there from now onwards. Okay. 1 hour or 1.5 hour, it will be there. In the Naresh IT is there, right? In that Instagram, somewhere it is. They will publish the Zoom links and everything. Okay. Please refer that one. Just to join that workshop. That's it. You will you will have an idea completely powered. And if you know that one, once again, you will remember all these things. Okay. This Saturday workshop will be there. Who are interested, you guys can join. Okay. Maybe tomorrow they will publish the link in the Instagram. Naresh IT sites are there. Right? No, no, no. Already sent. Okay. Oh, okay. Workshop. Internships are different. Yeah. Internship they are mentioned. Workshop only. Yeah? Okay. Then it is fine. So we can stop it here and we'll continue. Timing says most probably I'm not giving timing. Today I will giving a timing like 10 to 11:30. It is online, completely online. No need to come to the offline. Okay. That means Saturday there is no classes will be there. Understand? This week class won't be there. Next week class won't be there. Next Saturday class won't be there. Next Saturday class will be there. There is no workshop. Again, after that, again workshops is going like that. Okay. Just join. It is like timings is 10 to 11:30 something. 10 to 11 or 10 to 11:30. Understand? Okay. So we can stop it here and we'll continue tomorrow. Bye, guys.